negative reviews, okay, you can handle that, but negative margins is a big thing, especially in 2024 and 2025. I have seen
Definitely.
margins drop by a lot,
Oh
like
yeah,
a
Yes.
lot.
campaign doesn't match this web page. Therefore, we're not even
Yep.
going to display it, right?
Yep.
Well, Amazon is the same way. So
Can you
if you
tell me more about this, the one that actually tells you the put in the SN and it actually tells you the problems, because
we
that's
actually got funny story on my private label, which was a camping blanket. I got rid of the rest of my inventory just
do you
last week.
think is the way that Amazon is headed? Because I think it's no longer sustainable for a new
Go
person.
to an AI to start a conversation and go, I'm looking for something that handles this problem.
Yeah, yeah, makes
That
sense.
sounds like a camping tent. Okay, cool.
The
I need
whole atmosphere has changed, around the content writing era as well, around images
mm,
era as well as
on your
Yep.
listing, on your images, on your content, on your keywords, all that stuff. Your basics must be in. Every back end field that you can fill in that's relevant to.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you, Syed?
I'm doing great. So I actually did not know the pronunciation of your name. That's why, I couldn't take your name. So it's Denon.
Danan. Yeah, well, look, you know
Denon.
what?
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in the world, it's pronounced different ways. So America, it's Danan. If you're Latino, it's Danan. If you're in the Middle East, it's Danan. So I'll answer to all of them.
So coming to the, your product, your company, ecom triage. How did you get the idea? Like, what was the starting foundation of it?
So this has been a lot of years in the making.
Yep.
So I've been selling on Amazon since 2010. So we're at 15 years now. I'm in the supplement space. I've been doing strategic partnerships for multiple companies in the Amazon space for, well, this year would be 7 years. Now I'm just doing it for myself, right? But I thoroughly enjoy helping people. And it doesn't stop at the Amazon space. That's just where I happen to have my profession.
Yep.
Um, I I'll help almost any individual in front of me, you know, and if I feel I have something that I can help them with, and most of the time, it's just getting into communication with that person and finding out about their day or their life or whatever. And when you get into communication with someone, like truly in communication, they'll open up to you. You know, if they feel
Yep.
that they can trust that you're actually listening to what they say. Sometimes people haven't had somebody talk to just tell them what they've got going on and get a proper like, wow, that
Yeah.
sucks, you know? And and sometimes just an acknowledgement like that can change somebody's day, change their day, you
Yep.
know? Um and not to toot my own horn here, but I've had conversations with people where they said, "You just changed my life." And I'm like,
Awesome.
"I hope for the better," you know? Um, but yeah, it doesn't matter to me who's in front of me. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter any of that. Sometimes people just need a little help. They need a little listening. They need a little understanding. And then from there, if possible, maybe you push them in a better direction than they're headed, or in the direction to get out of where they are, or something like that.
Yep, makes sense. But at the same time, I've been fighting with this thing as well. Like the question is, how do you know it's not because there is a psychological word for it, which is superhero syndrome, where people feel like they have to help other people. So that kind of thing, like I actually read upon it like this year, like in 2025, I read upon it, and I was like, okay, how do we define like when it's enough of the help and when it's you are not uh, overdoing it. Yeah.
Well, that comes back to communication, right? If all you're doing is like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, and you're just telling somebody what to do, and they're
Yep.
just going, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. They'll never do it. Right. So the trick is to go, what do you think you should do about that? Right. So
Yep.
let's say you have, I don't know, you don't drink enough water in the day, and you're constantly dehydrated, so your muscles are aching and it's causing you headaches and blah blah blah. And you're telling me, man, I've always got these headaches. My muscles are always hurting. And I go, well, how much water are you drinking? You say, oh, I don't really drink water. I just drink coffee. Right.
Yep.
And or like energy drinks. Like, cool. Well, how do you think that's affecting your body? And you get them to look at it, right? So
Yeah.
you're not looking at their problem. You make them look at their problem. And then you just ask them, like, what do you think? And they go, well, I don't know. I'm like, all right, well, what happens if what do you think if you just think about what the body needs to operate, food, sleep, and water, right?
Yep.
And you're feeding it sugar and caffeine in liquid form. Do you think it'd be better hydration for your muscles to have water or to have, crap, right?
Yeah.
And so anyhow, that's how I operate on it. Is I find out what is the problem. Cool. What do
Yep.
you think needs to be done about the problem? And and then you make them look at their own problem, because most people are stuck in their problem, and all they do is they blurt out, my problem is this, my problem is this, I have a problem. And then you go, well, cool, what do you think you should do about it? How do you think it should be solved? And they go, oh, well, and then they look from a different point of view. Now instead of
Yeah.
being in their problem, they look from the outside of the problem in. And it's always easier, it's always better to look at something from an exterior viewpoint. And this goes into business as well, right? If you are stuck inside your business going, look at this problem I've got here and look at that problem I've got here, the reason consultants like myself or anybody else out there, doesn't matter if it's PPC or whatever, the
Yeah.
reason you got life coaches, you got business coaches, you got business consultants, you got all kinds of stuff. The reason they can help you is because they're not in your problem,
Yeah.
and they can look. Oh, nice little thumbs up there for you. So they can look from a higher point of view and go, I see all these components, I see you have a problem here, do you see that it starts down here?
Yeah.
Right. And so when you can take an exterior viewpoint on something, you are able to look at it holistically and have a much better understanding of all the components that make up that problem. Right. And if you're able to look from a different level and see all the components, you can find the component that's causing that problem and
Yeah.
then fix from there, or at least get a different starting point. But if all you're doing is focusing narrow on this one little problem, well, you're not going to see all the things around it, because the only thing you're looking at is the problem itself.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense as well. So speaking of problems,
Yeah.
negative reviews and negative margins on Amazon. Like I think in the like negative reviews, okay, you can handle that, but negative margins is a big thing, especially in 2024 and 2025. I have seen
Definitely.
margins drop by a lot,
Oh
like
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the way that Amazon is headed? Because I think it's no longer sustainable for a new person to do Amazon. Like,
Mm.
does that make sense?
It makes sense what
Somebody
you're
with
saying. I understand what you're saying, but people have been saying that since 2013.
yeah,
you know so the game just always changes. Amazon is a fluid platform for us sellers. It always has been, it always will be, and it will always be evolving, right? So
yep,
the problem, the people that say, and I mean no offense when I say this, okay, but the people that say you can't make money on Amazon, it's not true. What could be true is that you can't make money the same way as you have
hmm,
been making money on Amazon. The fact of the
yep,
matter is it's just evolved, right? So I've said this a number of times. you either evolve with the future or you die in the past, right?
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
can say that with a great amount of certainty because I did not change my methods on my private label and I just expected it to stay the same forever. And guess what? I don't have any private labels on Amazon anymore, right? Because it no longer made sense. The methods I was using didn't make sense. They didn't work anymore. It no longer worked to not do ads, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because I wasn't running ads and because I didn't think I needed to, I didn't have the margins to.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
So I actually got funny story on my private label, which was a camping blanket. I got rid of the rest of my inventory just last weekend. It's all gone out
Oh,
of my house. But that's I'm a prime example of if you don't evolve with the future, you die in the past. And that goes for your brands, that goes through your methods. Now, with that being said, the basics will always be the basics. You must have your basics in. Good images, now good videos, good content, good keywords, good PPC now is a staple for you, right? But your if you don't have your content in great condition and your images in great condition and all that stuff, you can drive as much, and you know this as well as any seasoned seller, that if you don't have a really good product listing, it doesn't matter how much traffic you drive to it. Your
yep.
conversion rate is going to be crappier than it would
Yep.
be if it was perfected, right? And
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
something that has always been, not always, it has long been the case on Google with Google PPC, right?
Yep.
You used to be able, when PPC came out, for pennies, you can send anybody you wanted to any page you wanted for any traffic and then sell them a
Yep.
widget for $5, right? Well, you
Yeah.
can't do that anymore. Your
Yeah.
page has to tie in with the campaign that you're running and the keywords you're running,
Yep.
and though and the so that the people that are being sent there are converting for that. If Amazon or if Google sees that you've got 10,000 clicks and everybody's bouncing in 3 seconds and your bounce rate's 98%, well, they're going to know, okay, this is a crap web page and
Yep.
this campaign doesn't match this web page, therefore we're not even
Yep.
going to display it, right?
Yep.
Well, Amazon is the same way. So if you want to know what I think that if you want to know what the future of Amazon is, look at Google and how they have evolved over the years. I have seen, with a margin of error and difference, to the degree that this is a product search engine rather than information search engine like
Yep.
Google is, right? But they match very, very well within a margin of years of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Make now that I think of it, it actually makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's correct.
Yeah.
And I think a lot has changed as well, on Amazon as well as the whole community, because now it's more video related, like video focused. That's what I wanted to say. Now it's more video focused. I think the whole
Yeah.
social media is. And where do you think this is gonna go in next 2 years? Because I think if it's video focused now, it is going to be same conversation focused in the future as well.
Yeah. So yeah, conversation. I think you just hit the nail on the head. So it's been video focused, right? I believe that the next evolution of that is going to be AI focused and just asking questions. What about this? What about that? Right? I'm
Yep.
already using AI. If I'm looking for a product, I go straight to ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or Perplexity or wherever. I know I've never used Grok, but wherever, and I just ask it, give me the top 10 products for this type of product. Let's say it's a camping tent. I need a camping tent for 6 people. Give me some of the best rated and best quality products for that. From there, I start with, hopefully it gets the answer right. But from there, I
Yep.
start with 10 brands, right? I
Yep.
didn't have to go search on Amazon. If you go search on Amazon for 6-person tent, you're going to get 5,000 results,
Yep.
right?
True.
So I didn't have to search that and then filter through all those products, all the
Yep.
crap that's out there, and go into the reviews and go, oh, this review's about a Bluetooth speaker and they've got 38,000 reviews. Okay, cool. That's a bunch of fraud. I know that this tent's
Yep.
going to be crap, right?
Yep.
So I bypass all of that. Like for me, time is what's important to me. I don't want to
Yep.
spend a bunch of time doing stuff, right? I don't want to spend a bunch of time trying to sift through endless amounts of data. I want a
Yep. Makes
start
sense.
point that I know is a strong start point, and I'll funnel down my results from there. So I usually start with what's the best, most expensive, highest quality, and that's not always synonymous, but what's
Yeah.
the best and most highest quality, and I'll go, okay, I don't want to spend $3,500 on a tent. I want to spend
Yep.
350, right? And then I'll go, looking at the qualities of that tent, I'll filter down and drill down. Okay, what's a $350 tent that approximates the best thing out there as
Yeah.
for the best price? So I think it's going to be conversation based. And right now, if somebody's you do Google Ads as well.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. People that go to Google, many people know this. People go to Google when they're looking for a product they're interested in. People go
Yep.
to Amazon when they've determined what product they want to buy. And now they're just looking for
Yeah.
which one to buy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Google is still a research platform. And so
Yep.
I think what people are going to do, if Google doesn't fix up things with Gemini and how the conversation goes inside of just google.com, uh, then I believe that they're going to be taken over by ChatGPT and these other AIs. But I think that people are going to go to an AI to start a conversation and go, I'm looking for something that handles this problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes
That
sense.
sounds like a camping tent. Okay, cool. I need a camping tent that's large enough for 6 people. Great. Do you want space for 6 people only, or do you want lots of space? I'd like to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
at least 6 feet tall ceiling, blah, 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 blah. Cool. Here's 5 options for you. So the crazy thing for me is when you're going to be able to buy products from directly in ChatGPT and stuff like that.
Yeah. 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 That can. Yeah. That is. I think. How long do you think it is going to be? Like, is it going to be next year or yeah? What do you think?
Mm, I don't know. I mean, when did we all start really playing with ChatGPT? I started, I think, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years
Yeah.
ago
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, um, before they even had a pro version. I think. Pretty sure I did, yeah. But there were people that were messing around with it before that even. Like, AI is
Yeah.
not something actually new.
Yeah.
LLMs are not a new thing. They're only new to us in the public, but in the
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
technology world, it's been around a long time.
Yep.
Um, so, I mean, I if you look at the progression of where we started,
Yep.
where we are today, let's just call it 2 years. We've gone from hello, ChatGPT. What would be a good recipe for me to cook? To
Yeah.
I need you to I want you to create a 3D rendering of this product and have
Yeah.
it a goose and have it flying through the air next to a helicopter. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Done. 3 minutes later, you've got a freaking video of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and there's a thousand different I used to try and keep up with the different AIs that were coming out. It's not possible.
Yep. There are
It's
too
not
many of them. Yeah.
possible. Yeah, there's too many. Some of them are really good at certain things,
Yep.
using the GPT model, and I don't know. I think I would say in 2 years it wouldn't surprise me if we were buying directly through GPT, but at the same time, now you've got Apple integrating with ChatGPT and Siri,
Yep. Yeah.
and and Alexa, you can already order stuff through Alexa. So that's
Yep.
already done, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to be crazy fast, and it's going to be like we're in for a technological wild ride.
Yeah, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense as well, because a lot has, like, the whole atmosphere has changed around the content writing era as well, around images
Mm,
era as well as the videos as well, because uh, people can actually type in a command and actually get the whatever they want video made. And there have been, like, if you watch reels or something, people have been typing in some really weird commands, like a person turns into a goose, turns into a hulk, turns into a all in the same frame. And I'm like, how did you even come up with this, or how did you even think about this? And the
yeah,
reason I say this is because previously the video was limited to the people who knew how to make a video or how to edit a video. Now it's
yeah,
everyone. Yeah. So yeah, and it has changed the
yeah,
conversation about. Yeah.
yeah. And look at what was the first photo one? Not I'm not talking about Dolly. I'm talking about Midjourney. Midjourney.
Yeah, 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 Midget.
You used to be able to tell. So Midjourney was really good for photographers. They said, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I want a 50 millimeter lens and portrait style, and I want the f-stop to be this, that, and the
yeah,
other, so that you get the bokeh in the background and blah blah blah.
yeah,
And Midjourney had all these coding prompts for certain features that you could bake into the
yeah,
image. That's gone now too. I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure you can still do it, but
yeah,
like I I I played with Midjourney for a little while when it first was released, or popularized, I should say, and I couldn't get it to do what I want. But
yeah,
I tell you what, the prompt that I had to engineer back then compared to the prompt I would have to engineer today for an even better result, today's prompt would be way less, and I
yeah,
would get a better result because all of these LLMs have been learning how we are
yeah,
requesting data.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's true. Because now the chat gpt or the llms, you're right on this. And the thing is, I actually, my final year project was actually on natural language processing and automation as well, so I actually
mm,
built some libraries in there as well. But i
mm.
i actually left it and came into Amazon, and now I feel like an idiot. So
Well, you know what? I tell you what, f you certainly have a leg up, though, with the knowledge that you have in this area.
yeah,
You've got a leg up because, like, man, I built I built a GPT. It's not quite ready for release, but pretty soon on these podcasts like this, I'm gonna just start releasing my GPT for
awesome.
people to just throw in reviews and see if they're in violation. I'm also building right now it's on catalogdefender.com, where you can just put in an ASIN and we'll
Okay,
quickly go get some data and then run it through an AI, and it'll say you've got this many issues in this many areas or something along those lines. We're building it now. Um,
awesome.
I'm not the AI engineer, but
Yeah, yeah, I understand.
conceptually I can communicate what I want. But you could do that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
bumble through this stuff, but you could probably build this stuff quick.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. You have given me a new idea for 2025. So I'm gonna,
Perfect.
yeah, that's.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this. The one that actually tells you the put in the SN and it actually tells you the problems, because that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's actually important as well, because, yeah, I have been dealing with a lot of suppressions, listing suppression
Ah,
issues for my clients.
yeah.
So yeah, I would love it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's called Catalog Defender, and Catalog Defender monitors all of your ASINs down to the child ASIN level for 30. I'm not even sure how many. Let's just call it 30 different critical issues. So we can monitor for split reviews, orphaned ASINs, buy box not qualified, the it goes to a broken Amazon page. We can detect whether the language is correct. We can detect if the images are missing, or the bullet points are missing, and all kinds of different things that we monitor for. And it's all on one single dashboard, and you just filter
Awesome.
on show me the one things that are wrong, and you go, cool,
Oh,
I have a
okay.
punch list, and you just go, let's fix this. And so we built this for agencies and big brands, but technically anyone can use it. I mean, anyone can use it. My wife has asked me to do
Yeah,
it for our Amazon account, and we have one ASIN right now. So I'm like,
yeah.
sure, babe, no problem.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, makes sense. But
So
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
very helpful. Yeah, that kind
yeah,
of products we need here.
yeah. I mean, just think about how much time do you have to spend if, let's just say, you have 100 ASINs that you monitor, right? Or that you're responsible for. You don't have enough time in the day to check all these things every single
Yep,
day, right? And these
yep.
things, if if you go and you lose the buy box, you don't know until you're
Yeah,
not making sales.
yep, yeah. This issue. Yeah,
Yeah. So this is something, and we can integrate this with Slack as well, where as soon as we find certain kinds of issues, a Slack message goes out to a group, and
yeah,
then
yeah,
you have that integrated with your team, and you know right away. And we can check, you know, 24 times a day if you want. So if you got an ASIN that's running you $1 million a month in profit, I'd be constantly checking that thing. I mean, you probably got
yeah,
eyeballs on that all day anyhow, but
yeah,
I'd be checking for issues every hour, because I'd want to know that if I suddenly lost a day of revenue and didn't know about it to the next day, I mean,
yeah,
what
yeah,
is that? That's $33,000 that I lost.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, this yeah, I have been through it. So yeah, that actually, that is good. So I'm gonna check it out as well, the catalog defender, and so hopefully we can have a, offline conversation on it as well.
Yeah, happy
So
to.
yeah,
And
that's
we can
that's
do an
pretty
audit for
great.
you if you want.
Sure, sure, sure. Would love it as well. So
Yeah.
do tell me, like, what are the other one, you talked about the reviews that are not legitimate. Like, how do you so how do you determine that, or how does Amazon determine that this review should be deleted?
Yeah. So basically, first thing we do when we're looking at your reviews, we download them all. This is after you've signed up, become a customer. We download all the reviews, all the 1, 2s, and 3 stars. And then we run that through an AI that's trained on Amazon's community guidelines and about 8 other policies having to do with reviews. And then we get the severity of the violation, what the violation is, and then we work with Amazon to get them removed. That sounds simple. It is a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah, 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 I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
that.
In theory, the service is very simple. It's just cool. That one is in violation. Let's let Amazon know. And we hope that Amazon goes, gosh, thanks for being a good sport and helping us and finding something that violates our terms and conditions that we set for you and for your to protect you and to protect our customers. We appreciate that. Uh-uh. No. It's like,
Yeah,
I won't go into the details of it, but I think every seller here, every seller listening to this knows it is a pain in the ass, and most of the time they don't hear anything at all from Amazon. And if they do,
yeah,
somebody at support does a standard cookie cutter. We've reviewed the review and found out that it's in compliance, and it's like it literally says go to Walmart, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
I
I
understand. And yeah, the
yeah.
sport thing, I like, I have been back by, like, I have been talking shit about sport, for a long time. So yeah, I wouldn't want to do this again. But yeah, this is just, I don't know why they are not just fixing it, or I don't know why they are not training them. Like, the major problem is their training. Like, yeah,
So that's one of the things that we do is like, if if I don't call support anymore, but my wife is the one that deals with support, and you can tell by her face sometimes that she's on with
Yeah.
Amazon support. But um, anytime I get a hold of support, I I want to start off with, "Hey, my name's Danan. This is my account. I know Amazon better than you do. I know how to do your
Yeah. Yeah.
job better than you do. Escalate me to tier 1."
Yeah.
You know? Or I mean tier 4 or whatever,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Yeah.
know?
I understand.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
skip the first escalation, skip the second, and get me to tier 4 escalation. It's like,
Yeah.
I know what you're going to be searching for in your book, and so don't read me the policy on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyhow, I
We
get
got
rather
into a
impatient.
problem like it was an advertising related problem, and I was talking to sport, and first like two people gave me very different answer on the same question,
Yeah,
and it was my first experience with them, and I was like, I'm really happy that we were not in person, because I lost my mind for a whole minute, and I was like,
yeah. So here's the other killer for me is that we all know that Amazon provides very bad customer support to sellers,
yep,
great customer support to customers, to Amazon
yeah,
customers,
yeah,
awful support to us as sellers. And then they make you pay for it.
yeah,
You don't have to, but they've got their I've forgotten the acronym for it at the moment, but um darn, what is that acronym? Um I can't think of it right now. I've It's towards the end of the day for me and I'm out of coffee. So um
yeah,
yeah, it's way toward the end of the day for you, but it's basically it's a support system that it's like a multi-thousand-dollar amount, like 2 grand a month or a grand a month or something like that, plus a percentage of your sales, right?
yeah, 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 that
You,
one.
you yeah, so you do get access to some neat stuff, but 80% of the people that I've spoken to that have that say that the support is just as bad and they don't
Yeah,
answer as regular support. I'm like, "What? Why would Amazon even create that program if they can't actually all right, we don't have this is not an anti-Amazon
yeah,
support system. 2 years ago, I was at Accelerate 2 years ago and in the main area, and they said, "And we have improved our support ticketing system and our how fast we're handling your tickets and providing better support to you." The whole place busted up laughing. I don't
yeah,
think the person on the stage actually understood that they were being laughed at, that
yeah, yeah,
statement, because it came out later that the whole reason that the support tickets were being handled so fast is because there was an entire team closing tickets without
yeah,
ever
yeah,
answering them and marking them as
yeah,
resolved.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like select all and then mark as read, and then it's gone. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, mark is red and then archive.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
they have been like yeah. So let's just talk about something else. Actually, we are out of time for the podcast.
Yeah.
So they didn't. Is there any closing remark that you have? Anything that you want to leave the listeners with?
Yeah, I mean, this is something I've been saying for years, but it's just as true today as it always has been. You have to have your basics in on your
Yep.
listing, on your images, on your content, on your keywords, all that stuff. Your basics must be in. Every back end field that you can fill in that's relevant to your product, it needs to be filled in. If you don't have that is your foundation on which you are going to build your entire building. So if you don't have your foundation in place and you start running a whole bunch of traffic and your conversion rate is bad,
Yep.
you're just going to spend lots of money. Amazon is happy to take your money for clicks. They'll do it
Yep.
all day long. It's a pure profit for them, right? But there's a degree at which they will stop displaying your ad if you're just not converting. So
Yep.
you've got to have your foundation really, really well in place, and it is worth the time to do that.
Yep. Yeah, Danan, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really enjoyed it.
Thank
It
you.
was really refreshing conversation. You have given me a lot to think about and a lot of work on the ChatGPT side and AI model side. So I'm gonna, start working on that as well. Start
I like
planning
it.
out stuff as well. Thank you so much. See you soon. So yeah,
Thank you.
take care.
All right. Bye, everyone.